Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Sergiu Ardelean, co-founder and CEO of Artivive. Sergio, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series special edition. How are you?
Epi, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm actually really good. We just started a bigger project in Osaka for the expo, and it's running well.
Oh, fantastic. Osaka, that's amazing. I love Osaka. Are you going there or?
Actually, yes. In 2 weeks, 3 weeks time, I will be there. Starting with the 16th. I'm going over Beijing, have some meetings there, and then afterwards in Osaka. If you're there, it would be great to get some sake.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm in Europe right now, traveling on the road, but hopefully we can meet again. Hopefully in Europe, perhaps or somewhere else. But Sergio, great having you here. I reached out to you. I wanted to have this just short conversation that we do this with a number of founders and CEOs and heads of marketing, heads of innovation. Um, for people who are not familiar with Artvive, uh, tell us about your journey first. How you started, what inspired you to start the company, and what you do.
Sure. So before starting Artivive, I was leading a marketing agency on the creative side. And we were one of the first using augmented reality as a marketing medium or channel. And we won big clients like Volkswagen and the whole group at Porsche and Audi. And it was an amazing experience. We also opened some offices in Shanghai and in Munich. And I saw the power of storytelling, right? To have something which is not connected to the internet, something that it's just plain printed material, or a tattoo, a poster, an artwork. And at the time when we started Artivive, there was no solution out there for creatives, to engage with this medium without knowing how to develop or program or create their own apps. So we said, let's make it extremely easy. Today we'll see it's like we could say like it's Canva for augmented reality. It's just drag and drop, and then you can create your own stories and narratives. From the beginning, we limited also the functions, so it's easy to consume also on the end user side. And we just put it out there, and we have to imagine we have around 600,000 creatives now on the platform. And we didn't really do any marketing. So, obviously it's word of mouth. It's also some projects that we're doing, but we have a little bit more than 500,000 of creatives on our platform that they found their way directly to us.
Wow, amazing! You mentioned 600,000 creatives. From are they from all over the world or?
Yes. So I'm surprised, almost every day when I'm looking at the creations that are uploaded. So we have people from Vietnam, we have
Wow.
artists from Australia, Sydney. They're working also with galleries and museums there. We have creatives from Costa Rica. The other day I just had a call about a project in Bogota. Now we have this bigger project in Osaka for the expo. So it's truly international. At some point, we were looking with Codin, with my co-founder, and he said, Sergio, the only country where we have no users is North Korea.
Wow. Maybe it's time to send a gift to
Right?
out of North Korea. Wow, that's amazing. So those that's international. Getting those creatives. Now, what's this creative? What is this creative's background like? What's their uh,
It's truly mixed. So from the beginning, we started more on the fine arts sector. It was just on the branding side because, coming from marketing, for me, it was very important to build a brand and, to be also very considerate about the content that's created. So it should be, with value. It should have some storytelling and narratives. And that established us to be in a space where we're inspiring people. And then obviously we opened it up for everybody. And we see now tattoo artists who are using Artivive to expand their tattoos with a digital story. So you can get your tattoo and with a digital extension. At the same time, we see a lot of bands that are using it for the merchandising. We have very many street artists who are using for extending their murals, paintings, illustrations. So everybody who's in a visual field, in a creative space, it's kind of our target and our user base.
Um, uh, Obviously, to get to those numbers, the journey it's always crazy. I can relate, given the fact that been involved in many different startups. But what was the biggest bet for you that took in the early days that helped you get you where you are today?
So I think because we started, it's 8 years ago, right? So
Mm.
2017, and we started out from Vienna, where we still have our headquarters. And when I was pitching the idea, and I had this vision where art is getting more and more digital, but at the same time we like to have something which is haptic, right? Something that we can put on the wall or wear, or like the tattoo. But we have this power of digital storytelling, and many artists and most of the younger creatives are more in that space. And back in 2017, it's like we have to have a bridge, and they see augmented reality and therefore also Artivive as this bridge. And when I was chatting with creatives and artists in the space back then, everybody was like insane. It's like, how with a mobile phone in the museum? That doesn't make any sense. And galleries, and people will spend money for digital art. So I think the biggest challenge was at the end, like in the beginning, to um, sell the vision, and also you being a founder as well, how hard it is at the beginning when you try to find your product market fit, and then most feedback is like, I'm not so sure, maybe you're just losing your time.
Yeah.
So I think that will be at the beginning to really believe on what we're building, having a lot of interviews also with the creatives, and have a clear roadmap. And now, obviously, for some months, we are also cash flow positive, which is great. We're always bringing new features like web AR, so you can experience it without having the app now, which opens many other doors, also for the creatives. But for us, we are an organization for profit. Being in a cultural creative space, it's also a little bit hard, to find the balance. It's like, how should we, price it so that at the end we can also get the money back for the investors that we got and have a sustainable business, but also to let the creatives be creative, and don't have to invest a lot of money. So I think this is the second challenge, and we're still working on that. I think
Yeah.
for every startup this is an ongoing challenge.
Yeah. And so you mentioned about something about Osaka. Are you working directly with a festival in this case, or?
So we were approached by the Austrian pavilion. They have a wonderful artwork. The longest story is that they found 2001 or two, in a castle in Austria, some wallpaper, which turned out to be part of a paravan. Where you can change your clothes behind it, which is very often found in the Japanese culture. And they found out that it's the earliest depiction of Osaka ever found. It was back in the time when Osaka was a capital. So they wanted to bring that to Osaka to show the relationship between Austria and Japan, but unfortunately it wasn't possible. So they had a replica, but they said, we want to tell the story. We want to bring this artwork to life, and that's actually exactly what we're doing. So together with the team from the Austrian pavilion, which is an amazing. So whoever goes to Osaka, also the Austrian pavilion itself, it's a masterpiece.
Wow.
And being able to tell this story in augmented reality, I think it's also elevating a little bit the experience there.
Yeah, that's amazing. This is incredible because so you mentioned about the haptic movement and technology that you have within for creators to create. Um, uh, how difficult was to, I mean, and when did you start applying that as part of the tool? given the fact that the today, even today, still the augmented reality, for example, still a lot of brands are not using it, or the companies are not using it properly. How difficult was to add that into the set of tools,
Yeah.
and to for people to use it, right? Because it's really amazing technology. I mean, I tested a number of times the Visual Pro, for example, and it's incredible, like how accurate it is.
That's a great question, and you just highlighted something that I'm preaching for some time. It's not about the technology. Obviously, for us, being in the field, we are very excited about the new tools that are coming out, and new hardware, and how we can use it. But at the end, it's just the value, the experience. So what we started to do is to put the technology in the back. Try to not talk so much about augmented reality, because that's also part where people get a little bit scared. It sounds very technical, and it sounds like you have to do a lot of things to be able to understand. And we focused on the value, on the story, on the narrative. People also, for example, in Osaka, when they're leaving the Austrian pavilion, they shouldn't talk about the app or the technology that they use. They should talk about the paravan. So
Yeah.
that's, I think, the most important part for us, and that's why we went after the creatives, because they're the best storytellers, and they can always find new ways of telling stories and using technology in this way. So I think also for the communities that we were able to build, we had workshops. We learned a lot from the projects that we saw, is like how the different creatives use the technology to tell the stories, because they are. I'm surprised every week to see new ways, from sneakers that are coming to life, to books that are getting digitally older. So you have a digital content in a book, and when you scan it, with every month, it gets more pixelated. So also the digital content can edge, and these kind of things that give people perspective to see technology in a different way. So
Yeah.
if I would sum it up, I think it's more important to not talk about technology, but talk about the value, and the technology is the means to get there.
So, and to sum it up, a creative tool, a storytelling medium, a platform for cultural transformation in a way, right?
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's amazing. Um, Sergio, talking about risks, obviously, as an entrepreneur, you got to take these risks, and they're professional and personal, and some of them didn't work out as planned, right? Some things that you do. Uh, what is the lesson you learn through tough times, and when you get out and you look back, what are the lessons you learn?
I think it's very important to have a clear roadmap. It's like where you want to get, but at the same time, enjoy the ride there. Because if you're enjoying the ride there and you're having fun doing it, you can be also a little bit more flexible, because things are changing, society is changing, um, and then you can adapt a little bit easier. And if you have fun, it's also easier to take the loss, try to take as many learnings as possible from it, and move on and build something better.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, is there a book or film or artwork that shaped how you think as a leader or entrepreneur?
I think it's Peter Thiel's From Zero to One, and it
Mhm.
was also the different stories that he had there. It's like, also his relationship with Elon Musk. Also today, I reflecting back on the book, it feels like it makes a lot of sense on the way how he thinks or does things, and at the same time, to how to build something out of nothing. I also see myself more, from the 0 to 1, and that's why I'm so happy to have my co-founder who's more the 1 to 10 and 10 to 100 kind of a guy, because I'm full of ideas, and I know how to get the initial traction, but the question is always how to scale it. So I think it's also very important to start a journey as solo entrepreneur, I see many founders struggling, and it's good to have somebody to share the experience, and also somebody that is filling the gaps that you don't have. So yeah, I think it's one book that moved me a lot, and I'm still listening
Nice.
and reading some chapters out
Do
of
you
it.
read the book again, or you just read it once and
So I read it once. Then afterwards, I also had the audiobook
okay?
when I was
So it's
driving.
good.
And now sometimes, I'm just going back and trying to remember what he said, and just
Yeah,
searching for the
that's cool,
chapter.
man. So, Sergio, what does the word bold mean to you?
I think it's first of all being having the energy to do things differently. Um, in a society where it's more wish that everybody is the same or same shaped, and bold is just to stand out and follow your own trajectory.
Mom. Sergio, great having you here. Always be bold. Thank you for joining me in this bold talk series, and looking forward to seeing you again soon. Until next time, take care, be great, and be bold always, and have fun in Osaka. Cheers, my friend.
Okay, bye.